Okay, September 14th, Elks Central. Elks lose a heartbreaker at the hands of the Toronto Argonauts in Toronto. Declan, Eddie, and Rick here with you for this one. The vibes are a little bit more somber today. But my first initial thought is, I mean, this kind of goes without saying, but it was such, with the rest of the schedule, it was such a winnable game. It was the most winnable game on the schedule. It was one that keeps you right there in the hunt and you fumble it away. A tale of two halves and you completely give it away.
Pun intended, huh, buddy?
Yeah, did you nail that? Did you do that on purpose?
You play that one on purpose?
Didn't even think about it. You know what? Not only did I not even think about it, it took me a second after you said good pun to be like, oh yeah, Cody fumbled.
Yeah.
It took me a second to
away.
And listen, Cody, I thought played well for the most. He wasn't as mobile as he usually is. He only had the 3 carries for 5 yards, I think it was. He looked a little bit more stuck in the mud, but played well, all things considered. Like 25 of 28. I don't know, Steve Jobs' first computer, so I got to fire it up here. I think 25 of 28 for like 220 yards. Moved the ball well in the air, but that's what
2 TDs.
Yeah,
so very efficient.
He's always very efficient.
Didn't stretch the field.
But that's what football is. It's one play that's going to be a game changer. And in this one, it was that fumble. And I guess the other thing for me, like it's 14-3 at halftime. And, Edmonton's not running away with it by any stretch of the imagination, but they feel in control. And I'm kind of watching, like in the first quarter, I was like, Toronto's playing like a team that's just rolling over and is happy to die. They didn't seem like they had much intensity. They didn't seem like they really wanted to be there. And again, like Edmonton wasn't overly in control and running away with it or anything, but I just felt they came to play in that first half so much more. And every time Toronto had an offensive possession, it just seemed like there wasn't any energy, maybe is the right word, emphasis, whatever the word is I'm trying to find. And then in the second half, it just spirals into nowhere, and they finished with 28 points in that second half.
Let's give Edmonton defense some credit in that first half, probably for the lack of execution and energy, like you said, for the Toronto. Edmonton's D really showed out, and they did everything they needed to do.
Everything. Sacking the quarterback, taking the ball away,
under 300 passing.
Yes,
6 turnovers,
6-1 turnovers,
6-1.
This is an anomaly. This is you never in football. We're all football heads here. I don't care what league it is. Rarely, I'm talking like
very rare,
finite times do you see a team win after they've essentially turned the ball over 6 times and you get the one lucky one. Yeah. That's ball, like you said. It's one play.
The anomaly of anomalies. But this was a game that you couldn't lose. Like if you go out there and you get mollywopped by Toronto and they just air it out on you for 400 yards, and Spencer Brown, a guy who's on your practice squad, has a career game and rushes for 115 and 2 touchdowns or something, and defense is getting to Cody 8 times. Like that's one thing. But to have the game in control, have them playing with no sense of urgency for an entire half, it felt like, go out there and get hung for 28 in the second after winning the turnover battle 6-1. Like that's just a game. That's just a game you can't lose. You can't lose. You cannot win the turnover battle 6-1 and lose that game at this point in the season when, like, this is a team. I know, we can talk about BC and Winnipeg later as well, because they, it's only a game for either of those teams in the West, but a team you're trying to leapfrog. Mm-hmm. And it's a team that you should beat. It's probably, I say this with all due respect, because, it's a good league, but they're probably the second worst team in the league behind Ottawa. You're playing, you've beaten them already. You know what's at stake. You know the crossover's right there. And you go out there and you give it away.
Where do we lay the blame for this loss?
That's a great question. It's a weird one because I don't really you look at Cody and I'm like, well, it wasn't really his fault. He had the fumble, but it wasn't really his fault. You look at the defense and I'm like, defensive line was getting there. Secondary was taking the ball away. You look, Justin wasn't involved, like 12 carries for 27 yards, 8 yards receiving, whatever it was. But I don't know if you really want to point the finger at him, because I think a lot of times when he has kind of subpar stat lines, it's play calling. So for me, this is a really weird one where I don't know where I lay blame. And it's one that you just look up and all of a sudden Toronto won. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I maybe you guys have a better answer, but that's where I come out on
I
it.
go offense as a whole. I'm not going to say it's Cody's fault. He fumbled that away. He lost. No. It's the offense as a whole. Even with Cody's efficient game, they just didn't get the job done enough throughout the game. 8 punts. Toronto had 4 punts. Edmonton doubled that. Edmonton had 8 punts.
Stalling drives.
As Edmonton's D was against Toronto's O. Like Edmonton still punted it away 8 times as efficient as they were. No run game.
Yeah.
0 run game. There was no creativity in the run game. Rank had no options. Like he was
in the backfield all the time.
Every time there was someone in his face in the backfield. So I lay the blame at the offense's feet here.
Offensive line for sure. A little bit there again. You got to create a hole for them. You got to get your quarterback some time. Play calling there. You got to.
How many sacks? 5 sacks?
Yeah. You got to play calling. You got to be better. You got to be, I don't know, something.
Bro, you
do
said
something
a couple weeks back, Rick. The hot seat, the O-line, and they're going to be on the hot seat. You said for the
rest of the year.
For the rest of the year, bro.
Yeah.
And here they are.
Yep.
Here they are.
Yep.
Week after week, we're talking about it. Yes,
but you have an OC that you know what your issues are. You know where your strengths and weaknesses are, and your offensive line obviously is one of them. You need to be creative enough to try and deal with it, right? You can't just keep doing, all right, guys, go out there and make your blocks again. Because it's not working. You got to be creative. You got to come up with something.
Another big thing is as good as Justin Rankin is, and I think he's the team MOP. I think we all kind of agree with that. He does have games like this where he disappears. And, you chalk that up to play calling, chalk that up to the offensive line. But at the end of the day, he has, and I know he had the first touchdown there, but he does have games where his stat lines are absent.
You're not wrong.
And in those games, Edmonton doesn't really have someone who steps up and kind of takes the reins as the guy. Like when Justin doesn't, play well or his stat line doesn't reflect a game, that's a good game. You don't have, it's not like, oh, Justin, he had 27 rushing yards, but Curly had 150 through the air. Oh, but I know he's not playing, but Steven had 2 touchdowns. Like there's not another guy. Now Cody does a great job as a whole, as a quarterback, getting everyone involved. And he's very, he's a good quarterback. But if Justin doesn't have that star stat line, no one does on that offense.
Is it safe to say Keon Julian Grant is Cody's favorite target?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It almost changes every week though. Right? Like it's like sometimes it's Dunbar, sometimes it's Curly, sometimes,
I wish we'd see Curly consistently go.
Yeah.
Just consistently.
What I've kind of clocked about Curly is he's not as involved nearly as much as you would want, or probably, I guess, should be, if you want to call it that, based on the price tag. But he gets the ball a lot on second down situations. Like when you need that first down. Yeah. So I give him that credit there. But Keon, we'll get to, players of the game later. Keon for me has been super consistent playing with Cody, and obviously they have the connection, the Montreal connection. He's been super consistent, but even still, like with all due respect, he's not a guy who's going to go 11 catches for 140 yards and moss, 2 people on his way to a 3 touchdown game. And obviously that's a high ask as well. Don't get me wrong. Like it's like I just compared a guy to Randy Moss. Like you're not going to have that on every team. Not every player is going to be that, but you would still like someone to step up.
Almost every team has a guy like that though.
Yeah. Okay.
And ours would be probably Dunbar.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Yeah.
And you'd want that guy to, step up when you're star running back or star player. Because here's the other thing I kind of think. Like, I think Justin's a team MOP. I think he's the best player on this offense. But I don't like this team didn't come into the season thinking like, man, we got Adrian Peterson back there. We got LaDainian Tomlinson back there. We're gonna, like, you know what I mean?
A horse, yeah.
Right. Like he's come to be that guy.
Yeah.
But he didn't. So my point being is like they come into the season not knowing that. And even still, no one really kind of, stepped up and said, I'm going to try and be the guy in this offense.
Good point, man. Yeah, they're dry, man. Mm-hmm. When it's dry,
it's dry.
It's dry.
Yep. It is crazy. You look at Cody's stat line, like 25 of 28, 229 yards and 2 touchdowns. That should be like and then you look at what the defense did with the sacks and
6 turnovers.
6 turnovers, 4 takeaways.
6 turnovers. That shouldn't even be a game.
No.
Like it's a quiet flight home. That's a quiet flight home. That shouldn't, you tricked it off. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You gave that one away.
And it's so weird. Like I can't reiterate it enough. Like every time I would see Toronto score, so I'd be like, wait, the score's that close? Like I just kept looking up and being like, how is like what has Toronto done to be in this game?
Well, the thing is, Edmonton did a good job matching too.
Yeah.
Like Toronto would creep closer. Oh, Edmonton would do just enough to get some points.
Yep.
But the way the math worked out with that damn kick at the end for it to be a 1 point win.
So they brought it up on the telecast at the very end of the second half. Or second quarter, sorry, the end of the first half. It was the whole punt the ball out of the end zone and hope to stop them or give up the safety. And they kept saying on TV, give up the safety. I was like, dude, it's 1 point. Like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. 1 point.
And here we are.
1 point.
Yeah, like it's
that big of a
I
deal.
hate giving up the safety. Like,
It is.
go earn the 3. I'm not just giving you 2.
You know what's crazy about the safety? And it used to be so commonplace in the CFL.
They used to always do it.
Like the coaches had no trust in their punters. They were always taking that safety. So when I was playing Madden as a kid, I was like in my own 10-yard line. I would run the fake punt pass and I would just run out the back of the end zone with my kicker. Because I wanted to be like the CFL. I was like, oh, that's great. Man, you look at some of the box scores from these defensive players, like good games, man. And I know injuries as well. You know, we got to talk about that. Yeah. Well, here, I'll let you go off on that.
Well, I don't need to. I was just going to, segue into the injury. Speaking of
it's tough, man.
It's real tough. Achilles.
Yeah.
It's for your leader. It's tough.
Yeah. That's a bad one. And depleted unit already. And like just a mismatch unit as well. And like the guy, like they've found some units that work together.
Ballers though.
Yeah, for sure.
3 ballers that really come to mind. They got some hawks back there.
Oh yeah.
That play, run and pass.
Yep. They work together well, but it's still every week the defense seems to be a new iteration of.
Yeah, you're right.
How many?
It's very true, man. Linebacking core, right? D-line now too.
Secondary, not as much lately, but Royce gets injured, and then you just speaking to the beginning of the season with Manny Rugamba getting released, and Devaudrick gets hurt, and then Leonard gets like a spot before JJ Ross comes in, and we got Kenny and Chalen both playing. So yeah, it's just fucking everywhere.
Bodies. This is the crunch time. This is when you need the bodies.
Because Nick Anderson left for most of the game too.
Yep,
he did.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like it's already. I don't. We talked about what the best iteration of the defensive line is, and I think we found one. But that linebacking core, like, no, you kind of need Niles and Nick there. All due respect to Brock and to Joel.
He had a good stat line, but you're right.
Yep.
Joel is a
kid's
great
getting there.
He is getting there.
Yeah.
He is getting.
But you've got 2 really, really good ones ahead of him that you want to play first.
Exactly.
And Joel's probably going to have. I don't know what next season's going to look like. I would imagine Joel he's getting a lot of time at the wheel if he's not the starting wheel linebacker next year. But right now it's still as well as he's playing, and he did have a great stat line. He got the sack, which was big. He had 5 tackles. Still a little bit of a work in progress, and that's not a knock on him at all. But that's just you got Niles and Nick and the linebacking core. So yeah, it was What else can I say here? I mean, hopefully a lot.
There's not much to say, Deck, to be honest, when you have the stats that you have offensively. Defense has the stats they have. The offense just didn't pull their weight. They needed to finish. Yeah. And one of the biggest things when it comes to this game was the fourth quarter. They lost the fourth quarter 17-6. And that's the game. You got to finish. And 7 of those were crucial. 7 of those 17 were very, very critical.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the 28 points they had in the second half overall, it was like, it was weird. I just can't how do I articulate this well? But it's 14-3 at halftime. Again, feels like Edmonton's kind of in control. And then I just Toronto just kept putting points on the scoreboard somehow. And you're just like, wait, they scored again. And you don't. Here's the other thing. That final drive, Jared Dagey comes in, and that's the guy who beats you. That probably cannot happen. A guy who was on this team who got cut.
Yeah. It can't happen.
Yeah.
So there you go. You had their starting quarterback out of the game.
Pin that on the D.
You were winning. Their starting quarterback was out of the game. And you had another guy coming who's never started before. You can't lose that game, and you cough it up. You gave the points up yourself.
Who wasn't good enough to be on this team? Who got cut?
Yeah, boys, that's way to keep my feet to the fire. That's true. You can't let the D off the hook for that. You certainly can't.
He only really made one big pass on that final drive, but it was the one. I forget who it was to, but it was that one it was just
got him in the field goal range.
It got him in the field goal range, but it was the same thing. Like it was the problem, and they've shored this up a little bit, but that they had all beginning of the season soft spots in zone. And it was just, this was exploited to the nth degree.
It was bad.
No one around him feels
I knew they were going to get those points, or at least
you did. Hey? You
I just
like
felt it. Yeah. I hate that. I felt it.
And they were on third. You had him on third down, and it wasn't third and 1. It was third and like 5 or 6 or whatever the hell it was.
I think it was.
In Haralaw, once they got it, to the point that they got it, and how far was the kick? 47, I believe.
48.
Yeah, further.
Yeah, something like that. Once they got it down to the 41 there, I thought, oh, this is so close for Haralaw. It's a chip shot, man.
I was hoping it was just too long for some, even though it's not obviously like under 50, but I was like, in my mind, I was like, hopefully he's feeling the pressure of the moment this feels.
And
like
I love
wide right. That's all we need. Wide right.
I love the thing about the CFL too is how the clock goes to 0.
I know,
right?
yeah.
It strikes 0. So
do you think they should have taken their time out there? It's not going to change anything. Not going to change very much. But if you take the time out at 8 seconds,
the locker room.
Yeah,
for sure.
You can't take it home.
You just
don't get to carry it over.
You're not flying back with it. So for sure, 100%, I would.
So there is a little bit on there is a little bit on the coaching staff too.
Okay, coaching staff. There's the segue, Rick. Ryan Dinwiddie. Bang, bang. What do you think about that, Deck?
Man, Jared Diggy as well going to the sideline and giving them the business, and Ryan did. I love the passion. I love to see guys get fired up, but it's a little for me. It was a little like you're not division rivals.
Yeah.
All respect. You're both 5 and 8.
I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like this was the Grey Cup. I was a little bit like, come on, like, what are we? Like, I love the passion. I love the fire. I like
see his
sports
presser
like
afterwards?
I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
What was he?
He said the comment, what was it exactly? Talking about someone who wasn't like good enough to be in our building, who's now in Edmonton talking. Yeah. What was the word he used though?
Yeah.
You talk. All
right. Yeah. No, listen, I like because just from watching it on TV, it seemed like him and Killen were almost going to start going at each other. Now, I don't know if this was just a camera cut and Killen was talking to someone else. I don't know if Dinwiddie had got out of there by that point, but it seemed like they were kind of.
They're getting face to face, nose to nose.
Pretender. So he said some pretender over there who's not in our building.
Who's he talking about? It must have been.
I don't know. The first person that was John with him on TV was Ivy.
Yeah,
going back.
He was in the middle of the one in Calgary too.
Yeah. So
right, there's that pushing at the end of the Calgary game.
Yeah,
and he was right in the middle of that one too.
So I don't know. Did Ivy ever play out there in Toronto?
No,
I don't know. But he did also reference Coach Maxey, though, the D-line coach. Yeah, didn't by name, but everybody knew he was talking about Coach Maxey. It's out there.
Oh, Martez Ivy definitely did play out there.
Yeah.
My bad.
So,
it's been a while, but
Ivy went right up face to face. So he might have been talking about Ivy, talking about some pretender who's not in our building anymore. Talking junk.
I get Jared Daggy going over there and giving them the business and letting them know that's on your head. Because, they cut him and he went out and led the game-winning drive, to really kind of keep them in the playoff hunt and keep second in the East.
For sure.
Alive for them. So I get him doing that.
Cold, too.
Yeah.
Cold.
Yeah.
What? Just coming in for a drive?
Yeah. No, I do, dude. And Nick Arbuckle, it's not really an and, but Nick Arbuckle just played so poorly before that, turning the ball over. He
couldn't move.
He was a statue at the end, just chucking it up. Move. Eh?
Yeah. And Jared comes in and I don't want to say there's not. It's a weird one because there's not pressure because it's if you don't do anything, it's hey man, you're not really supposed to, you're the backup quarterback. But it's also hey, you got to go down and win the game for us. So he's in kind of that weird.
Be loose.
Yeah,
it allows you to be loose. Yeah. That's actually a very good X factor that probably you wouldn't key in. If you're getting into the mind of an athlete, that is some psych 101 because the pressure of the world isn't on your shoulders. Man, I'm coming in for the last drive.
It's hey, I threw one pass on the sidelines before I got my number called.
Yeah, sorry guys, I tried. It's
you guys.
But then you come out and be the hero.
Yeah.
They're lifting you up in the locker room.
Then you get to go to the other sideline and stun on them and tell them it was on their head.
Yeah.
Which the Ann Edwards.
Yeah.
I take it.
Also, the fumble, David Beard, you probably got to fall on that. Just grab it.
Yeah,
just get right on top of that. Don't Don't try.
Don't get cute.
Yeah, just fall on that ball. Don't.
Where do you guys
Right
come
to the
off on
gut.
the? Where do you guys come off on the challenge of the penalty? And should it have been a penalty? Like you cannot grab the quarterback below his knee, correct? Is that the rule?
Here's the thing, like they just say you can't touch the quarterback at all.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, you got to be able to hit him somehow.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I get the challenge. Like, that's a turning point of the game.
For sure,
I obviously would have done it as
try
well, but I'm fine with it not getting overturned.
Yeah.
So do we just like eliminate the rule then? Because based on what's the rule? The rule is you can't grab him below the knee. You grab him below the knee. So do we just get rid of the rule then? Like it's
But, like, yeah. How do you get a guy down then?
I completely agree with you there. I think
You can't grab him below, especially it's so hard when you're pass rushing and you got an O lineman on your back. There's guys so much happening in such small space.
Yeah.
Like literally from wall to wall, there's like 6 different bodies in different lanes and stuff, and you're all diving trying to kill the quarterback. Like, how do you avoid it?
I have no idea how you avoid it.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Especially when you're getting pushed, you're leaning.
Yeah.
Like it's almost
And the quarterback's
impossible.
moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stepping up and like all of a sudden you're leaning and he goes out that way and
Yeah. You had him at the
You're
waist. He
trying-
took a step.
Exactly.
Now you're getting him in the mid
you're getting him
chin.
at the ankle or at the knee and you're wrapping him up. So it's so hard.
Back in your day, you didn't have to worry about that.
No, I think I told you guys a story though about how I got a penalty and I got fined half a game check. And then,
Brutal.
But it was
Why just take it right off?
What happened? I didn't get the penalty. I just got fined. That's what happened. Is it was against Drew Willie in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't get a penalty, but then I got the letter in the mail that following week during practice, and then they fined me half a game check. And in the off season, I appealed it. Obviously,
Yeah, of course.
off season they gave me half of that money back, so it was only a quarter of a game check.
Really? Hey?
Yeah, so they gave me some money back.
What's the appeal process like?
You just send in
Yeah,
like
come
some
on.
paperwork, and
Yeah.
then the film, what clip it is, and why. Like your bullet points of why really would be like your paperwork.
Half a game check is crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy, man.
You only get 18 of them.
Yeah, yeah. It was the max fine. It was
Yeah.
the max fine. It was
Do you remember
silly.
the play?
Yeah, I mean, I fucked his knee up. Yeah, I did. But it was rainy, and I like kind of again, like I just explained, got pushed into him. There wasn't even a penalty on the play.
Yeah.
There wasn't at all.
Yeah.
So that was part of my big.
Did anyone at the time think like that was a dirty
Oh
play?
yeah,
they
it
did?
looked
Okay.
super dirty.
Really? Hey?
Yeah, and I wasn't a dirty dude. Like
Yeah.
people know that, and I didn't get penalties and stuff. It looks greasy though.
And no flag.
No
hey?
flag on the play. Right, and there's an official standing right from me to the monitor. He saw it,
Yeah.
and he knew.
Gives you like a wink.
But the
He's like,
fact
hey.
that I got fined was super whack. And then I appealed it and got it back in the off season.
That's funny. Like the
So check.
CFL that you can find something so much. When you look at the NHL and these guys are making $9 million and they're like, you get the max fine of $5,200.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like the
Dude's like,
maximum-
yeah, it's-
And
I
it
know
would
that might-
cap out. So I say half a game check. My game checks were smaller back then. If you're a quarterback making 10G a game check, they're not going to find,
yeah.
the math isn't going to go to 5K for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would cap out at probably, I think, what was it? Like 1,400,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. And my checks back then would have been like 3,100.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That makes
damn
sense.
near half a check.
Yeah. Oh, man, this hurts though.
Yeah.
Does that de-incentivize you for playing the next game? Like,
No, you're
poor.
just trying to play. It does, like, you're thinking about playing safer almost,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can't play football safe.
Yeah.
You got to
Nope.
be reckless and fast.
Yeah, I
So
totally
if
hear
you're
that.
safe, you're slow, and you'll get hurt.
Where do you guys come out on the penalty of Cordell's? His unnecessary roughness, where Herselo tries to.
What are you supposed to do?
That's what I'm
that's
saying. Yes, thank you.
stupid.
Okay,
That was
he's
a-
bro.
What are you supposed to do? What is
I
the
love
rule?
it.
You can't jump?
He tries to Spartan kick, hurdle him.
I
And, like,
love how he
Cordell-
went high.
What
I
do you?
love
Yeah,
I love
like
it.
it was helmet to helmet. But what are
Yeah.
you supposed to do?
But he
there?
jumped right into it.
Yeah,
like
well,
Super Mario.
I don't know what else you're supposed to do.
Do we have that clip actually?
I could try and find
All
It
it.
right,
was
I would
such a
love
good
to-
smack.
Yeah, it was a pop.
And I'm glad he didn't go low and become a highlight reel.
Yeah,
That's a good penalty. As a coach, you don't care about a penalty like that. Just like holdings and stuff, unless it's egregious, you can get away. Like coaches don't care about those types of
Really, hey?
penalties. No,
even
It's-
like 15-yarder.
no, it's PIs and stuff.
Yeah, those are.
Those ones don't get on coaches because it's in game, right? Guys
Yeah.
are fighting, battling. It's the ones where after the play, you punch a guy and you get caught being the second guy in
Yeah.
doing something stupid, or you spit on a guy.
Yeah, Jalen
like
Carter.
Jalen Carter. Like it's that, or the N bomb. You can't say the N bomb at all in the CFL.
Really? Hey?
So if you drop an N bomb 15 yarder,
No
so
way.
if you do that, that's costly and selfish. The in-game stuff, because you're competing, it's gonna happen, man.
How many guys with that one just would like let it fly?
Well, the rule came into play like when I was playing.
Yeah.
It would have been like mid my career, and guys would get it a lot initially because guys were just flying, throwing it everywhere. Yeah. But it did like taper off. Yeah. It's just a second word coming out of some guy's mouth.
Yeah,
but it definitely tapered off later in my career,
man,
for sure.
That's a crazy one. What else we got here? Like I feel like I've said it 3 or 4 times, but man, I really can't reiterate enough. And maybe I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this one, but for me, it just felt like I don't know how Toronto kept scoring. Like I just kept looking up and be like, wait, like how is Toronto in this game? It felt like Edmonton was the better team. And until they weren't almost. Yeah. Like that doesn't really
they kept giving us the ball.
You got to finish. Edmonton zone needs to finish with more points. Can't punt it away.
6 turnovers. You need to have more points than that.
Yeah. You got to finish. Your D gets you the ball 6 extra possessions. You got to do something with it. 6 of those 8, they punted it away.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Is that what the number was?
Well, no, I'm just saying.
No, because in the first half, I think we had all of our points off turnovers.
Yeah, they were getting points off turnovers. That's what I was going to say. Like they were turning those turnovers into points. But
so your defense is essentially giving you points. Exactly. Now go out and earn your own. And they weren't.
And the offense was
punted away.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just looking at it as the whole.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Do we want to get to the video here?
They definitely don't have that one.
Oh, sorry. I meant that's cool. I meant the other bad boys we got here.
Yeah. We've got Rankin's touchdown. We have a couple picks, and then the
all right. You want
unfortunately the bad one.
Want to just go by them one by one
here? Yeah, we'll start off with some of the good here. So this should be our touchdown.
First touch. He just leaks out of the backfield.
Yeah, good throw.
Honestly.
It's a good throw, good catch. That's a harder catch to make over the shoulder.
For sure. For really deceptively hard. Yeah. People would be surprised at how hard that catch is to make.
Honestly. Running that way, looking backwards. That's a good throw, good catch. Quick throw. You don't need protection to be great, but it is great. Good pop.
Also, like the half for Toronto there, just terrible angle. Like he probably didn't have a chance on it anyway.
So
no one's
but like it almost like when he broke after the pass, it almost looks like he was just blitzing. You know what I mean? Like
he was expecting Rank to be option 1.
Yeah. That was. I mean, it got pretty quiet for Justin Rankin after that one. He had one more catch after that. Obviously, wasn't really exploding in the rushing game. But when he scored that touchdown, I was thinking like, I wonder if we're in for like a
another
2-3 touchdown. Yeah, another big one from Justin Rankin. And it's like, how much when he has a performance like this, how much of it do you put on him versus the play calling versus the O-line? So I know the O-line, it's been a point of contention. It's been something we've brought up in some of the games like this. And I know the play calling has been as well. But at the end of the day, it's like he has had more than a couple of games where stat lines are like this. Like we can, and I do think he's the MOP, most valuable player, but there, a little bit of the onus is.
Yeah, for sure on him.
So
yeah. He doesn't come out of this unscathed either. Yeah. I think, the blame goes around more so O-line.
A little bit for everybody.
Yeah. And less so on the OC. But we talked about this, Rick. You can get a little more creative. You don't just have to turn around and hand it off vanilla style. Get creative and get Rank the rock in different ways.
We've said it before many times. Get them both in the backfield at once.
Yep. Might help. You see how it throws that?
It can't hurt.
For a touchdown.
Can't hurt.
All we saw the last time we saw it was a successful touchdown run.
Exactly.
I still want to go to Coach Killen. Obviously not now when you're fighting 5-8. And that's another thing we didn't talk about. Remaining games, this was the easiest one left on the schedule. Winnipeg and BC haven't looked great, but
Winnipeg's toast, buddy.
Yeah.
If Strevy's their quarterback.
And you know what the crazy, Zach Collaros hadn't been playing well this season either, really. But like if this was 6 years ago, sure. But now he looks,
I saw a stat that Winnipeg has the 1 and 2 leading interception throwers in the league.
Ouch.
Zach and Chris Strevler.
Ouch. How many? Yeah, that's
tough.
Crazy because Chris, like he. I wonder how many attempts he has on the season. I'd have to look it up. But
I haven't looked at his stats.
It cannot be that many.
That's not good.
Not also, good at all.
Another thing is Nick Arbuckle he started like turnover machine, but he really corrected himself. He was really playing well. And we had a guy from Toronto on Sports 1440, Mike Hogan, the play-by-play guy. And he had mentioned his prorated stats from the last 6 games would be like 6,400 yards, 42 touchdowns,
big
6 ints or something like that. Like, like phenomenal numbers, 6,400 yards. Like TDs might have even been more. There's a clip of it out there somewhere, but he comes into this one, 4 picks against, and I love the talent in that secondary. That secondary had 2 interceptions coming into this game.
They look like ballers out there.
Like
they were hawking.
For a guy who was playing that well in Nick Arbuckle in this secondary, and like I said, a lot of talent there. I really like all the guys individually, but they weren't some ball hawking secondary who was going and getting a pick every game, and they pick him off 4 times in this one.
And held them to under 300 passing, which was my big key to the game.
Yep.
If you hold Toronto under 300, forget getting 6 turnovers, hold them under 3, you should come out of the game clean. Yeah. But no. With 6 turnovers, this game, you got to wash it, flush it. Honestly, like it's done.
It's tough because this was
critical.
Yeah, it was. It was critical. This was
okay. Rick, we talk critical. Sorry to cut you off, Deck. Me and Rick were chatting earlier.
Yeah,
talk about the point that we were talking about. How critical this is with the different wins that they could have had.
Yeah, like this one annoyed me. The other one that really pissed me off was the second game against BC, because that was just a flat out bad game when he didn't need to play like that. And then you look at the drop by Grant in the end zone against Hamilton right there. That's 3 right there. You should have won. You should have won. And maybe the BC one, you can say, hey, listen, you could have had a good game. You're still going to lose that one. Yeah, whatever. That's 2 you should have won then. You add 2 wins to this, take our 2 losses away, or where are you sitting right now?
Yeah. I don't know if you can throw the BC game in there. Like BC shellacked them.
But we look like trash.
Yeah, for sure. I remember, dude, practice the week after the BC game, Coach Killam kept the stats up on the scoreboard for practice.
Because we had played BC prior to that. Yeah, and it was close. It was fine.
This week of the season.
And then that game was just terrible.
A no-show.
They know. Yeah. And I remember Ed Hervey was down on the sidelines talking to me and Jason, and he just flat out said that week of practice after the BC game, and he was like, yeah, we got out coached. It's one of those games. And they did. Like and that BC, like that was their worst game of the season. They got, but to your point, this game and the Hamilton game, like those are 2 games.
2 L's.
Changes everything.
All of a sudden you're a 7-6 team.
Those are 2 tough.
You know what 7-6 would be right now?
Playoffs.
You'd be third in the West.
Third in the West.
You'd be third in the West. So that's what's the next clip?
We got a little Tyrell Ford here pick.
This was a hell of a pick.
Yeah, it was. He just went up and got it.
He took it away.
Played receiver.
Here's the other thing about Toronto. It seems like every play Herschel was involved.
Yeah, they did target.
Like every play, it was like he was getting thrown the ball, I feel like. But yeah, this is a great one. I mean, the pressure gets there, which is huge. He actually
he's falling backwards. I didn't notice that till right now.
That's what I was going to say. Like Nick, he makes this one way tougher than he has to.
No kidding.
That's a nervous throw.
That's a hard throw too, though. That's a long throw, man.
Thrown at the field corner.
And to put it at a pretty good spot, a little bit of credit to the throw, but
not terrible.
A hell of a ball hawk.
Tyrell is worth his paycheck.
Oh, man. He is, man.
We don't talk about him much because here's the thing: if you have a really, really good DB, you don't really mention him because they're not throwing at his ass. So we don't talk about Tyrell a lot, but Tyrell is a premier corner.
I knew he would be exactly, not to pat myself on the back, but I knew he would be exactly who he is. If you watched anything of Winnipeg the past 2 years, you saw this all day, every day.
Yeah,
like for sure. Every game in, every game out. This type of play, the run, how he come up, he'll chop legs out. He's been doing this. So I knew he'd come in and be a baller.
And the only reason you didn't see it at the very beginning is because they completely avoided him.
Yeah, they did.
Right? Everybody just, all right, we'll go to that side. We'll go to this other side.
I'm sure this isn't true because it's been 13 games, but I feel like you could make the argument Tyrell Ford has not had a bad play all season. Like I have not seen I can't think of a play.
I think there's been one, and I don't remember the game.
That's probably true.
One because it just stands out because it's such a rarity.
Yeah.
Like he's all over his man. He's fast. He does it all.
He
literally does it all. He honestly should be playing in the boundary. I don't know why they have him out at field. Why? He's faster than most out there. He's track speed.
Yeah, he
The
is.
Ford brothers are track speed.
I mean, playing field,
He's fine out in the field, but the boundary, you get even more action to make more plays.
you do. But like the one thing I guess I would say is like playing that boundary corner, like you're eliminating more of the field, which he really does. Like he takes away.
That's
okay,
coach.
just
I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
I really haven't.
Yeah, that was the first thing.
That makes sense. You know I've really never. Honestly, when I play, this is how it's viewed: is you just stick your crappy Canadian out there.
Yeah,
he's on an island.
Yeah,
but when you have an aggressive playmaker, like you say, you do eliminate more space.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. Ball knowers. All right, what's the next clip we got?
We have another pick here, JJ Ross.
I love JJ's game, man. That's a great break on the ball. That's a great break on the ball.
Late throw too. It's a ball's thrown behind.
He telegraphed that.
Good break.
Nick telegraphs this from about the second he gets the snap. Like you knew that ball. By the way, who is he throwing to again? Yeah, he like JJ. If you watch JJ at the beginning of this play, he is super flat-footed. He looks pretty disengaged, but he just knows the ball's going there. Like Nick could not have made it any more obvious that that's where the throw was going. He borderline turned his shoulders before he got the snap. He knew it. But shout out, I've loved JJ's game.
Yeah.
I thought
he's one of the guys that talked about one of the three for sure back there you can count on.
Yeah, 100%. What's the next bad boy?
Well, unfortunately here, this is the backbreaker.
Take us through it, Jack. Delayed blitz wrapping around.
This is just tough.
Delayed blitz, nowhere.
Deep depth.
David, you gotta get that. You gotta get on that one, David. But yeah, watch Oh man.
And so Beardo.
I love Beardo, but that was a bad sequence. That was a bad sequence for him. Look at him right, just too slow.
Yeah.
Too slow, gets beat. And delayed blitz
such
here.
a delay. You got to see that his feet get caught up.
Yeah, they
can't
do.
recover, and then you got to get on.
You got to get on that.
Talking the center.
Yeah, that's a
lose one, miss him.
The center gives it
chance to get the ball, miss that.
He gives it up and doesn't get the ball. That's a tough one for Beardo.
And I like Beardo.
He's a
good player, but he knows he's not going to want to watch that one in film.
And rarely do you see an O lineman kind of give it up that bad on a couple fronts. Right?
Yeah.
Linemen are quiet. They're hidden. You don't talk about them, but that was two noticeable.
And here's the thing, like that's second
things on one play.
It's 2nd and 13. So you already got blown up in the backfield on your first down run. So you're already like now it's two downs here, like 2 plays in a row where things aren't looking great for that O line. That's a tough one. And
let's end it off on one more positive though.
Yeah, David. I love David Beard. I think David Beard is. I think you can make the argument he's the best offensive lineman.
All have bad plays, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he knows. He knows. We're not breaking any news to him. He knows. All right, what's
one more pick here? This is by the guy who started off on the practice roster and now he's found himself on the defense. Probably one of our better defensive players right now, Kenny Logan.
I love Kenny's game.
Practice roster to playmaker.
Yeah.
Another errant throw.
Where are you throwing that, bro?
They're just playing 500 out here.
Yeah. Jackpot.
Yeah.
Dude, he triple coverage. Just triple coverage, bro.
Again, talk about just premeditated throw, though. Yes. He just didn't go through any progressions there. He just turned and threw it. Look. Didn't look and read the field. Just dropped back and just went.
Looking at the same guy the whole time. So I hope he gets open eventually. I got to throw the ball.
He thought it was Ursula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good finish. That's a good finish. That's a really good finish. Good finish on the play. Good hands.
Insane throw to make. Nick was a guy who was. I doubt he was going to get there because of the record Toronto had, but he had stepped up to like if Toronto could somehow finish the season 10-8. Like he was a guy with some of those prorated stats with how he was playing. Like he could have been in MOP convos. Not anymore.
No, Chad Kelly's up.
Yeah,
for sure. And this win just buys the Argos like this is icing on the cake.
Yeah,
because they would have lost it and there would have been a lot of talk and Chad Kelly would have been forced to come in. Now it just kind of bought them a little bit of time to work Chad in smoothly.
Yeah.
Well, he almost has to start now.
Yeah.
Right. Because
it's funny, like
if he's hurt, if Arbuckle's hurt, you probably don't want to go back to his.
He got hurt.
Yeah, there's that whole element as well. But he like, I don't know, he must have felt some degree of playing for his job, just knowing like what Chad Kelly's been for that Argos team. Sure. And boy, like he had 4 picks. We just watched 3 of them. 2 of them were like junior, like high school junior football
balls.
You know what I mean? Like those were that lot, dude. He hucked that up there into triple coverage.
Jackpot.
After knock, he was playing jackpot with his friends.
That was the quarterback of the team that you end up losing to.
That's frustrating.
That's
right.
That hurt to hear. It felt like it.
For me, it's one you just flush it and you got to show up here against Hamilton. That's it.
Yeah, like I feel like we honestly might not have been hard enough on the Elks for this one, because this was, I think, the most winnable game on the schedule. All respect to Toronto. And
they did everything to win.
Yeah.
That's why it's football, man.
What was it? 4 sacks?
Football.
3 sacks, 4 picks, 6 turnovers, 6 takeaways, I should say.
Yep.
It was there to be had.
But outscored 17-6 in the fourth quarter.
Yep. It was there to be had, and they couldn't do it. It's a backbreaker, man. We'll talk about the rest of the schedule more tomorrow on Elks 101. Like and subscribe. But this is a tough one. It's a tough one. All right.
Yeah, not much you can say about it.
Yeah, we had our nice little moment of silence for that one.
But I will say this: you want to put a positive spin on it. I do think had they won, they probably get into the West playoffs. So if what we think and Winnipeg falls down, we now pass Winnipeg. This almost secures our slide over to the East, right? So if you want to put a little bit of lipstick on it, you want to have a little bit of positivity on it. We would have said before this game, we'd prefer to go through the East. Well, now it's a little bit more
plausible.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like, Montreal just schwacked Saskatchewan. Toronto, they're 5. They're the same record as Edmonton, and tie goes to the East.
Yep.
So it's not like
it's not guaranteed.
It's not some guarantee.
It's never. And this was one. This that hurts because the door was open.
Yes, I'm telling you, like open. This is one I think if the Elks miss the playoffs this year, this is one we're gonna look back on and be like, that was the moment.
Backbreaker.
Yeah, that was the moment.
But you got 5 more games left.
Yeah, 5 games left.
5 dubs.
Kind of a tough schedule, but manageable.
Give us a Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Come on now, eat them all. Eat all 5 of them now. Come on, Dad. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.